Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Today, guys, we are talking about immune system and feeding our immune system. I was listening to a podcast just before starting recording our podcast. And there was Dr. Stephen Gundry, and he was talking to another doctor, and they were talking about diet and specifically how our diet for many people got so deficient in micronutrients, in vitamins and minerals, and how deficiency even in one nutrient, like for example selenium, that you might not have heard about ever, like how even deficiency in just one nutrient might contribute to more death from COVID-19. So they did some statistical analysis, and they said that people who were chronically deficient in selenium, they died much more often, and people who had adequate status of selenium, they didn't die. So statistically, there was not a person who died if they had adequate selenium status. And not just one nutrient. Our body is a system. And it only works well when everything works well. Like if all the requirements of every system are optimized and are met, then we have a great chance of not getting any serious consequence of any degenerative or lifestyle or non-communicative disease or COVID-19. But it only happens when all of our systems work well. There are about 30 essential nutrients, vitamins and minerals, so 30 of them, and we need to be getting adequate amount of all of them on a regular basis. Now, it doesn't mean like we gotta get all of them daily, because some nutrients can be stored in our fat, some nutrients can be stored for days, some for weeks, some for months, some even for years. But we do need to get those nutrients on a regular basis. And we're still learning as a society, like what exactly it means to get them on a regular basis. How our body exactly functions when it comes to micronutrients. Like when do we need to get our vitamin C or A or D? What do we need to get daily, or what we can eat weekly or monthly or yearly, and in what exact amount. Like we gathered quite a lot of data about this, but we are still learning, and there are quite a few things that we still need to learn and fine-tune before we can have some sort of complete recipe for human nutrition. But we do know a lot, guys, and today we are talking about 4 nutrients that are crucial for our immune system. But my whole intro was about that our immune system is not just about those nutrients or any other nutrients that you can hear about online or on some podcast or on radio or TV show. It's not just about those nutrients, those 4 nutrients that we are talking about today. It's also about all the other nutrients that support all the other functions of our body. It's all interconnected, and we can't just be sure that we are now in the best position possible to defend ourselves from COVID-19 or other diseases if we eat this specific nutrient. No, we also need to take care of our stress. We also need to exercise. We also need to get all of these other nutrients for all of our systems in our body to work well together, so our whole organism works well together. So we need to be getting a nutritionally adequate, balanced diet, and not just focus on one or a couple or 4 single nutrients, but on all of them. And so that's why I recommend you guys to use some sort of app, or even better, to go to a professional who will help you to figure out what lab tests you need to do to optimize your health. Like, what's your nutritional status, and what are the best foods to get all these nutrients, and what is the best eating pattern or eating behavior that will allow you, without counting and thinking about it too much planning, without all of that, to get all the essential nutrients. Like, it's an amazing opportunity, if you have it, to go to a professional who will design for you specifically, for your goals, your lifestyle, your geographical location, that plan that you can easily maintain to get all of the nutrients you need. And from all the data that is coming out, guys, that I'm learning, that I'm encountering, it seems that nutritionally adequate diet is really, really important, and that most issues with health or weight that we have is because those issues are there because we are not meeting those nutrient requirements. As simple as that. Like in that insatiable hunger, I forgot what it was once I started focusing on all the essential nutrients. Like when your body gets all the nutrients it needs, all the vitamins and minerals and fatty acids and amino acids, the essential ones, then your body probably won't be hungry. And that's what happened to me. I don't ever feel hungry because of that. Your weight, your hormones, everything will be balanced once you meet those requirements of your body. And then your body can fix stuff when you give all the essential building blocks, those fatty acids, amino acids, or fats and proteins and fiber and vitamins and minerals that are hugely underrepresented in our nutrition diet community. So anyhow, let's get back to feeding our immune system, right? Now that we know why it's important. But again, don't just focus on these nutrients we're talking about today. Figure out how to eat well-balanced, nutritionally adequate diet overall. So number one, vitamin C, body's major antioxidant and a nutrient that plays a huge role in supporting and functioning of our immune system. So vitamin C, that vitamin, it's water soluble, and we need it for so many purposes, like to make collagen that makes up a lot of tissues in our body, to protect our cells from oxidative stress. Those are like two big functions, but vitamin C plays a role in absorption, assimilation of many nutrients, and a lot of other metabolic processes, quite a few of them related to immune system and helping us to fight off infections and diseases. So vitamin C, where can we eat it on a regular basis? You guys, you need to understand that this vitamin C you need to be getting on a daily basis. So make sure to include some of these foods in your daily menu. If you want to get it from fruit, then you can have things like a couple of oranges. Lemons, limes also will have, probably quite similar to oranges amount. Kiwis, 2 kiwis. Fruit, also things like peaches or nectarines, they will have vitamin C, but you will have to eat a little bit more than, for example, kiwis or oranges. Berries, if you're a fan of berries, then strawberries is your best vitamin C rich berry. 200 grams of strawberries will give you about 100% of your daily need. Frozen ones will give a little bit less, but still good amount. So strawberries, if you need an excuse to eat more strawberries, then vitamin C is your excuse. Besides that, kiwis, strawberries, oranges, you wanna eat, maybe if you're not a fan of fruit, maybe bell peppers. One bell pepper, bigger bell pepper, red one is the best choice, will give you all the vitamin C you need per day. If you cook that bell pepper, it will make the amount of vitamin C a little bit less, but you're still getting all the vitamin C from a big bell pepper, whether raw or cooked. And other vegetables where you can get your vitamin C, the best ones are Brussels sprouts and kale. 100 grams of Brussels sprouts or kale is all the vitamin C you need per day. Then things like broccoli, cauliflower, and different cabbages are quite amazing sources of vitamin C and the best sources. So, but for broccoli, cauliflower, and other cabbages, it's about 150 grams per day. It's not a lot. Plus, you need your vegetables for all the other vitamins and minerals. So green vegetables, kale, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, other cabbages, even, sauerkraut will have different amounts of vitamin C. So all these vegetables include daily, or eat your bell peppers, or your fruit. But vitamin C, we need to eat it daily. Then the next two vitamins that we want to focus on, vitamin A and vitamin D. Vitamin D, we don't really know how exactly it works with our immune system, but we do know that all the cells of our immune system respond to the presence of vitamin D. And we do know that our immune system functions well when we do have vitamin D, and it doesn't function well when we are vitamin D deficient. So even though the mechanisms are not exactly clear, we are absolutely sure we need vitamin D. And besides the sun, it's getting into winter in northern hemisphere, and if you are not living by equator or in places where you get sun all the time, if you're not sunbathing on a regular basis, then you need to eat vitamin D rich foods, and B, probably supplement. I actually do both. So when it comes to food, food is always the best source because the vitamins in food are highly absorbable, recognizable, and do not have any negative health effects. That's why food is often the best way to eat your vitamins and minerals. And so vitamin D, we have the best source ever, cod liver. You eat 100 grams of cod liver. It's pretty fatty thing, but once a week you might, eat a little bit more fat if it's cod liver. So 100 grams of that. If it's cod liver oil, then you'll need less. So 100 grams per week, it's a weekly need of vitamin D. It's even better because it has 2-week supply or about so of vitamin A and 3-week supply of omega-3 fatty acids. But don't be afraid, guys. If you eat a can of cod liver, canned cod liver one a week, you're going to get all the vitamin A, D, and omega-3s, and there is no known case of toxicity of vitamins and minerals from cod liver. From supplements, yes, but not from whole foods. So cod liver, really easy way to eat all the vitamin A and D and all of your omega-3s. That's what I did for my parents. I just told them, okay, you are eating cod liver, can of cod liver every week till, probably for the rest of your life, or at least till COVID-19 situation has been resolved. Anyhow, cod liver, I'm a huge fan. The best one is from Iceland. So if you can find Icelandic cod liver made from cooled cod, not frozen one, then you're gonna have the best eating experience. It's just delicious, guys. But back to other foods, other sources of vitamin D. There is only one plant source, UV exposed mushrooms, or mushrooms that were sunbathing. So there is usually a label that would say that these mushrooms were exposed to UV radiation, and that's why they contain vitamin D. About 100 grams of those mushrooms will give you plant version of vitamin D. That is great, but some people might have troubles converting it into a form that we actually humans can use. But still, might be a great source. So look out for those mushrooms with vitamin D, UV radiation exposed. And then to other sources of vitamin D, fatty fish. Especially high in vitamin D are mackerel and herring. So about 70-80 grams will give you your daily need. And then salmon. Salmon, the amount of vitamin D will vary, and canned one seems to have the most, like 1/2 a can, about 80 grams is a daily amount of vitamin D. If it's, wild, farmed, if it's filet, if it's fresh or frozen, vitamin D amount might vary, but probably normal portion of like 150 grams of salmon will give you all the vitamin D you need per day. That's why I say eat cod liver, because you eat 100 grams of canned cod liver and you're done for the whole week. So that's vitamin D. Fatty fish like mackerel, herring, and salmon, UV radiation exposed mushrooms, and cod liver or cod liver oil. Vitamin A. Our body uses vitamin A when it comes to immune system for many purposes, but specifically vitamin A is needed to make antibodies to protect us from all the viruses that we might be catching or encountering on a daily basis. So vitamin A. The best way, the most absorbable, the most digestible way to get your vitamin A is liver. All kinds of livers are the best sources of the form of vitamin A that is needed in our body. It's retinol, the name of the form of vitamin A that we actually need, to be a little bit more geeky. Anyhow, liver, 150 grams of any kind of liver, and you are done for a week with your vitamin A. Vitamin A and vitamin D, by the way, guys, those vitamins are fat soluble and our body can store them for quite a long time. So that's why I'm saying, once a week, eat your liver. If it's cod liver, it's even better. You're also getting your vitamin D and all the omega-3s. That's why cod liver is such an amazing immune booster. So find it and eat it. It's a great investment of your money. Liver, but any kind of liver is a great source of vitamin A. 150 grams and you're done for a whole week. Now, if you want to get beta-carotene or pro-vitamin A, basically a form of vitamin A that our body converts into the vitamin A that we need, if you want to get that from plants, that's where you're getting that plant form of vitamin A, then you'll need to eat 1 big carrot. Usually cooking those vegetables will make vitamins more absorbable, but don't overcook them. That might destroy some of them. So 1 big carrot, 1 big sweet potatoes, like 220 grams or so, about 200 grams of pumpkin. It's the season of pumpkins, so it's Halloween soon. So you might as well, while you are carving out that pumpkin into some scary monster, you might as well eat the flesh and get some vitamin A from it. Just saying, don't waste the material. So 200 grams of pumpkin, 1 big sweet potato, 1 big carrot is all the beta-carotene you need on paper to convert it into the vitamin A we need. Now, if you have digestive issues, if you have any sorts of problems with your digestive organs, that might not be the case. So your body might not be able to convert beta-carotene into the vitamin A we need, and you might run deficient even though eating all the pumpkins and sweet potatoes and carrots. So that's why liver is still the best source for a lot of you guys. And when it comes to vegetables, pumpkins, sweet potatoes, carrots, when I say 1 per day, it means you need to eat it every day. So, or a lot once a week. The body can still store it, but just this is the amount per day. And then also don't forget that when it comes to beta-carotene, you need to eat it with some sort of fat to be able to absorb and digest all the beta-carotene. And you can have, olive oil, you can have an avocado, you can have nuts and seeds. It doesn't have to be oil from bottle. It just has to be some, 1 tablespoon or, a handful of some nuts or half an avocado would be enough to absorb all the beta-carotene. And also one great source of vitamin A, beta-carotene, plant vitamin A that we need to convert, goji berries. Like if you're a fan of goji berries, 10 grams of dried goji berries will give you 100% of vitamin A. Still needs to be eaten with some sort of fat, but 10 grams of goji berries, also enough of vitamin A. Now let's talk about one mighty mineral, guys, zinc. Zinc is crucial for immune system. Like our immune system needs it to make the antibodies, the proteins that we need to protect ourselves from different viruses, but it also activates vitamin A. Like without, for example, zinc, our body cannot use vitamin A. It also activates vitamin D, a lot of functions that vitamin D does. So you might be eating all the vitamin A and D, but if you aren't getting zinc, then you're just wasting your time. And zinc, guys, it's a little bit more complicated to get all of your zinc on a regular basis, unless you love oysters, because just a couple of oysters will give you all the zinc you need, and also omega-3s and a lot of other minerals, B vitamins, right? So zinc, just a couple of oysters. When it comes to red meat, the leaner, the redder the meat is, the more zinc you're gonna get from, a piece of meat. But in order to get a daily need, you'll need about 220, 250 grams of that meat. And again, the fattier the meat, the less zinc it's gonna have, because fat does not have any zinc. It's in the tissue, muscle tissue. That's where zinc is. So oysters, a couple of oysters, really easy, fast way to get your zinc. Beef, if you're a fan of beef and you're eating a lot of beef every day, then you're getting zinc. Also, you're getting zinc if you're eating brown meat of chickens or turkeys, but not as much zinc at all, not enough. So you have to eat quite a lot. Like it's not doable, guys. So then mussels, if you eat about 250 grams of mussels or crab meat, then you're going to get 50% of your zinc there. So mussels or crab meat. A lot of shellfish would have some zinc, but might not be enough. Even again, with 250 grams of mussels or crab, you would get 50%, just 50%. But a couple of oysters will do the trick. When it comes to plants, by the way, guys, 150 grams of liver will give you about 50% of your zinc too, but nobody's going to eat that much liver to get the zinc. Plant-based sources, pumpkin seeds. 30 grams of pumpkin seeds on paper will deliver about 20% of plant-based zinc. But the thing is about plant-based sources of zinc. Also, some beans, will have zinc, not in big amounts like oysters or red meat, but in some amount. But in order to get all the zinc, first of all, you're going to have to eat like 150 grams of pumpkin seeds every day. Or when it comes to beans, it's like half a kilo or very often much more. And the thing about plant-based sources, they have phytates or phytates, plant-based compounds that actually bind the zinc. So they take zinc and they take it out of your system. They bind it to different fibers and those elements, phytates, that bind zinc and basically make it unabsorbable. And so it just goes out of our body. And it can do the same, not just the zinc in the plant itself, but also to the zinc that we eat from other foods. So for example, if you eat oysters and you eat them with a lot of beans, now you're going to waste a lot of that zinc because it's going to be bound and it's going to be out of your system. So you're probably going to still absorb some, but just understand that beans, legumes, a lot of seeds would have those elements that will take zinc out of our system, and we can run deficient by eating a lot of those foods. And that's why eating zinc from oysters, from shellfish, from red meat, just guys, include as much of that as possible in your diet. I'm personally, it's hard for me to eat a lot of red meat. I'm not a red meat eater, nor do I think it's really sustainable or great idea to eat a lot of meat all the time for all of us, right? And so I don't eat a lot of beef for sure, maybe like once a week. I don't eat that much chicken and poultry to ever get closer to getting my zinc. I don't eat oysters every single day, even though I do eat oysters a couple of times per week. I do eat my mussels a couple of times per week. So I'm probably getting quite a lot of zinc, but might not be getting enough. That's why I supplement. I'm getting good quality supplement, and just like with vitamin D, because I'm not sure I'm getting all the vitamin D I need. I'm not sure I'm getting all the zinc that I need on a regular basis. So I'm getting supplement and I'm supplementing. I'm not saying this is like the best way to get it, but from all the evidence we have, supplements still do work, not as well as whole foods, but they do work. Just make sure to do it in a smart way, not overdosing, getting the best possible form bioavailable of that supplement, and then also making sure you're taking it at the right time. Like with zinc, don't take it with beans, because again, you're gonna waste a lot of that zinc and you might not even get any. So supplement in a smart way with good kind of supplements without any like additives and bulking agents that might have negative effects, especially if you take it on a daily basis, right? So, but yeah, zinc, oysters, couple of oysters, 250 grams of meat, red meat, 150 grams of liver, 50%. And then for 50%, you're going to eat like 250 grams of mussels and crab meat, pumpkin seeds, 20% and 30 grams. But again, that comes with a caveat that you actually might not get any and take zinc out of your system. The same with legumes and beans. So those are 4 elements that for sure needs to be present in adequate quantities in our body in order for our immune system to work well and protect us from whatever, it is out there. And you might hear that some people say you can't boost your immune system, or it might not be a great idea to boost your immune system because in many COVID-19 cases, it seems that overreactive immune system is not great news, that it can actually destroy our body and make more harm than good. But the thing about those vitamins and minerals, they don't boost your immune system. What they do is they make it function properly, activating when it needs to be activating and deactivating when it doesn't need to be activated. Right? Overreactive immune system is not a great news too. Like you might be sensitive to many foods because of that, because your immune system is super reactive. But so these nutrients, they are needed not again to boost the defense, but to make your immune system work properly and to activate it when it's needed and to deactivate it when it's not needed. So that's why we need to have a diet that supplies adequate amounts of these vitamins and minerals. So especially focus on vitamin C, those broccolis, Brussels sprouts, kale, bell peppers, strawberries, kiwi, oranges, vitamin A, liver, but then also carrots, sweet potatoes, goji berries, pumpkins, plus some sorts of fat. Cod liver for vitamin A and vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids, but also fatty fish is great for vitamin D, mackerel, herring, specifically salmon. And then UV radiation exposed mushrooms. And for zinc, oysters, couple of oysters, lots of red meat, like 250 grams every single day. Mussels and crab will also have great amount of zinc. And supplement when needed. That's also a great move. If you have any questions, guys, about anything that you've heard on this podcast today, then feel free to reach out either via email, angela@createyourself.today, or on any social media where you'll find me. I'm on Instagram, on Twitter, where else? Facebook, and Medium, and LinkedIn. So in a lot of places, reach out. And please do make sure that you and your loved ones, maybe, by the way, guys, share this episode with someone who does the food shopping in your household. They probably need this information more than you do. That way they can feed your immune system to all these nutrients that are super important for our immune system and well-being and health these days. COVID-19 is not going away anytime soon, and you want to be prepared to encounter it anytime, any day, and to be able to defend yourself appropriately. For that reason, eat your C's, A's, D's, and zinc and all the other nutrients, because as we talked about today, we need all of the nutrients to maintain a well-functioning body. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and till next time, eat some immune supporting foods for me, like maybe Brussels sprouts, bell peppers, cod liver, and some oysters. Thank you, guys, and talk to you soon.